Happy Monday, guys. So I wanted to come to you guys with another motivational Monday message. This message is a message that was placed on my heart as I was in here preparing and working on, the vision God has given me for my life with my business. And I wanted to, share this with you guys. And the title of today's message is God is preparing you to be the boss you needed. And I am looking down because I have my notes here because I wanted to make sure that I was organized and prepared and wasn't rambling all over the place. So again, the title is God is preparing you to be the boss you needed. Many of you are currently in the process of building and growing your own business or career, which is still in the beginning stages or startup phase. And along this journey, you have likely encountered some terrible bosses who had the resources to help you, but instead they saw your pain as an opportunity to exploit you. And, despite all of that, God intervened on your behalf. And perhaps when you went through this, you made a vow to yourself, promising that whenever, you came into a position of power and became the owner of your own company, that you would treat your employees differently. You remember what it was like to struggle and work extremely hard just to make ends meet, while your bosses couldn't have cared less about your well-being. Well, let me share my personal experience from my own journey. I once worked for a company where I put in countless hours, and my efforts, countless hours. I was working tirelessly, giving my all. You can ask anybody who knows me. I worked very hard. And unfortunately, my efforts were neither valued nor acknowledged. And financially, I was barely able to afford to come to work. And my living situation was very far from stable. I often found myself living in and out of hotels and even spending nights in my car. And in order to maintain basic hygiene, sometimes when I did have to stay in my car, I would wake up each morning, early in the morning, and I would go to the YMCA downtown in Columbia, where a compassionate woman, I remember meeting her, and I told her my story. I had to be vulnerable with her, and I told her my story, and I allowed, she, of course, allowed me to use their facilities to shower despite me not being a member. And there came a time where one of my coworkers, who was also aware of my struggles, secretly went to our employer and shared my story, hoping they would offer some assistance. However, instead of providing help, the employer saw my vulnerable situation as an opportunity to exploit me further. Fortunately, my coworker realized their mistake and sought out to warn me about, our employer at that time of their intentions. And, this moment taught me a valuable lesson, and I made a promise to God in that moment that when it was my turn to be in a position of power, whether I was a manager or the owner of my own company, that I would help others who were genuinely in need. And, I always said that when the time came for me to hire my own team, that I would make sure that they were not only well paid, compensated, but that they would receive great benefits and that they were treated with the utmost level of respect and kindness. I understand from being in that position that a lot of people nowadays are literally one paycheck away from either being in poverty or out of poverty. Therefore, I aim to create an environment where my employees feel valued and supported, knowing firsthand, the struggles, because I know firsthand the struggles they may be facing. And I feel like God is preparing a lot of us for a greater purpose. And as I reflect on, my own experiences, I truly believe that God is preparing many individuals like myself to become kingdom financiers. And, despite the circumstances, I really do trust in the power of God's plan. And I firmly believe in the biblical passage that declares, I am a lender and not a borrower. Therefore, as I continue working on the vision God is giving me, I hold on to the faith that great things are on the horizon. And I encourage you also to trust in God's guidance and provision. Although it may seem challenging, or uncertain at times, remember that things can change rapidly, and they are. I can feel it. I don't know if anybody else can feel it, but I can certainly feel it. And I just want you guys to remember to stay steadfast in your belief, for God is molding you into the leader you needed during your own difficult times. And you may be going through those difficult times right now, but just know that it is not in vain. Embrace the opportunity when the time comes to make a positive impact on the lives of others, just as God has done for you. Be blessed, y'all. I love y'all.